guys? What's up? What's up? What's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boost Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, this literally does not work. Me and Mike have been working our ass off in the workshop. We got a whole bunch of stuff that's coming for Lola. I'm going to put that together today. It'll go out tomorrow. David Wiley, we got you in there. I'm trying to remember the other guy who ordered a Joe Barty. The Joe Barty's already gone. You ordered a medium-sized rack, and you ordered, what else did you order? Hat rack, and I think a headphone set. I mean, it was like, daggone, you just buying out the stove, and I appreciate that. That, and I got some smaller Joe Bartys that are two-tone that are going out, so I got those as well. So the paint's drying, and I'm out here still trying to grow grass, so I put the sprinkler on. It's actually trying to grow, but the problem is it's shade. There's just not enough sunlight for it to really go. And I've been working on this for years. You guys know my story here, fighting with the grass and trees and things, but I don't have a green thumb when it comes to grass. Just don't. But anyway, we are into day 1 of phase 2 OTAs. And I saw this clip and I had to think about this. It reminded me because, when you get old, you forget a lot of things, but then there's other things that just get stuck there that you always remember. And you don't remember that you told everybody 50 times. That's why the kids are always like, oh, here we go with this story again, because you're old and you got all this information that's there and you can't remember if you told people not, so you just tell it anyway. That's me. I do it all the time. I'm not mad about it. Let it pound in your head some knowledge that we went through. But Dan Campbell, former tight end for the Dallas Cowboys, was hired by the Detroit Lions. And when he came in, that speech that he made, oh my God. I mean, I don't know that there's a place for that in today's kinder and gentler NFL.
Going to take on the identity of this city, all right? And this city's been down, and it found a way to get up, all right? It's found a way to overcome adversity, all right? And so this team's going to be built on, we're going to kick you in the teeth, all right? And when you punch us back, we're going to smile at you. And when you knock us down, we're going to get up. And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off, all right? And we're going to stand up, and then it's going to take 2 more shots to knock us down, all right? And on the way up, we're going to take your other kneecap, and we're going to get up, and then it's going to take 3 shots to get us down. And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you. Before long, we're going to be the last one standing, all right? That's going to be the mentality, all right? And we're going to learn that any loss that we take, we're going to make sure we feel the full pain of it and not go numb to it and learn from it and not to want to taste it again. All right, we're going to be competitive every game. I can't sit up here and guarantee wins and losses, and I just can't do it. But I'll guarantee you this, man, these guys are going to fight, and they're going to scratch and claw, and they're going to be something this city's proud of because they're going to take on the identity of this city.
That's a little bit strong there. But hey, who am I to argue? It might end up working. Maybe that's what the Lions need, is a swift kick in the ass. Because coaches, you're dealing with millionaires. You've got to be able to motivate them. Back in my day, it was the Newt Rockne speech, okay? And I got to tell you, I saw a whole story last night with the evolution of football. Mike Rowe, 6 Degrees with Mike Rowe, and they were basically telling how Civil War soldiers starving equated to his television show being on. And what it was, to make a long story short, what it was a guy came up with like chipped beef, a way of preserving the meats and stuff, so that way the soldiers could actually have a better meal as opposed to just hardtack, which was like a cracker that was like a rock that usually had maggots in it. So that preserving the meat started spawning, of course, with the railroads, the meat industry, okay, the meat packing industry and stuff. And then this guy figured that there's a way to use all of the meats and stuff. So not only did they use the meats, of course, to cut the meat, the steaks, and everything else, they started using the bones for glue and things like that, and getting leather, okay, out of the hides and stuff, and actually using like goat intestines to make strings for tennis rackets. In fact, a butcher owner, slaughterhouse owner, Wilson, sound familiar? Wilson was one of the pioneers of doing all this stuff with sports, and became Wilson, Wilson, like tennis rackets and footballs and all that. And he ended up with Newt Rockne redesigning the football so it was more aerodynamic. The old footballs they were talking about, they used to actually throw them sidearm because they were big and round, kind of like a big butt. They were big and round, okay, but see, NFL players don't like big footballs. They like, smaller ones. So when they came up with a better way to do the leather, they shrunk the size, the diameter of the football by 1.5 inches and made it more aerodynamic. So that's when Newt Rockne actually started throwing the ball overhand. And they were actually the pioneers of actually having the receiver catch the ball in stride. I was like, wow, this just blew me away. Because at that time, back in 1910, when they were playing football, the receiver would go and he would just stop and say, "Here I am, throw me the football." And so Notre Dame was playing against the West Point. West Point had all these All-Americans and things, and it should have been a blowout. Notre Dame wasn't Notre Dame then. But what they practiced all off season was having the receivers catching the ball in stride. They did their pass patterns with the football. Boom. And it just fooled the hell out of, out of West Point. They didn't know what to do. It's like, what are you doing? Receiver can't be still running and catching the football. This is madness. And that was the beginning of, I guess, well, it still was pretty much, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. But that was the evolution of football. And Newt Rockne, of course, back in my day, they used to always talk about giving the Newt Rockne speech, to motivate guys, okay? Because that's what coaches are always trying to do. If you can get a guy that has a little bit of controlled anger, see, it's not, you don't want to have a guy who's just pissed off. And I got a story about Sammy Good, and I've probably told that a million times, but I digress. I'm not going to do that one because I've done it a million times because I'm old. But if you can get a guy to get a little bit of an edge, to get that little extra motivation to work a little harder or to give that 10% extra, that can be the difference of winning and losing. And so coaches are always looking for that. And so when I hear Dan Campbell, he's sitting there talking about, hey, I'd like to have a lion. Not a mascot lion, mind you. A real lion at practice. He said, it might cost me my arm, though. And that was that deja vu moment. That thing when coaches do something really stupid and they go back later on and realize, what was I thinking? Jack Del Rio. Jack Del Rio was head coach, I believe, of the Carolina Panthers, I think. Or was it? No. I think it was the Jacksonville Jaguars. Was it Jaguars? It was some southeastern team. It might have been the Panthers. It might have been the Jaguars. I can't remember for sure. But either way, he was the head coach. Jack Del Rio, former linebacker of the Cowboys. That's a really good linebacker. Definitely a guy that back in the day you didn't want to mess with. And definitely a guy who was old school. So what he did to motivate his players, buddy, this is classic. He got himself a log. A log. Put it in the locker room right there. On the log, he had an axe. The motto was, keep chopping wood. Guys would go by, chop the wood, pull out the axe, chop some wood. Yeah, it was great. Motivational thing. You know, some teams will have like, you know, the rock. Go, everybody go touch the rock, okay? You know, at least the rock, as long as it's mounted and doesn't fall on anybody, you're good. You're good. You know? Or they'll have the sign, great focus. You know, tap the sign as you go out there. Jack Del Rio had the axe. Remember when Peyton Manning talked about an idiot kicker? Who cares about an idiot kicker? Well, it turns out their idiot kicker almost chopped his leg off. So this brings me back to Dan Campbell. Are you sure you want to bring a lion to practice? Yeah. Things coaches do to try and win. And hope I see you guys tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern. We'll be, of course, talking about what else? Day number 1 of phase 2 of OTAs and the Dallas Cowboys. And I'll have some more thoughts between now and then because, I'm addicted to YouTube. It keeps calling me, man. It keeps calling me. I try to come out and feed the fish, but YouTube keeps calling me. It keeps calling me. I want to stop, but it keeps... Just let me push the button, man. Just let me push the button.